What would happen if we could change the physical laws of the universe? Movies and novels often use this kind of idea. For example, the technology of freezing time. In films, the depiction of time stopping is quite shallow, usually showing people who can't move, doing trivial things like stealing peaches or engaging in other meaningless activities. In reality, this is not accurate. As we all know, time describes the movement of objects. So, a true stop in time would mean that all objects, including microscopic particles, stop moving. Thermodynamics tells us that the motion of microscopic particles manifests as temperature. The faster the motion, the higher the temperature. The slower the motion, the lower the temperature. When all microscopic particles stop moving, that would be absolute zero. With such technology, I could destroy the universe. So, let's stop watching movies about time stoppage because they're not scientific at all. As for the physical laws that are known to be constant and unchanging, we might have to count the gravitational constant, g, and the speed of light, c, among the most famous. If you could increase the gravitational constant, the entire universe would fall into chaos. The gravitational pull between celestial bodies would strengthen, and their orbits would become tighter and more unstable. If the gravitational constant were increased further, the force of gravity might cause the sun to collapse into a black hole. Then, everyone on Earth would be stuck together. You would no longer wonder why, since everything has gravity, a girl can attract me, but I can't attract her. For example, if you could increase the speed of light, it might seem like there's no significant impact. Originally, sunlight takes 8 minutes to reach Earth. Now, it would take 6 minutes. The only difference is that light travels faster, but in reality, the impact would be huge. Humanity might be wiped out. In physics, there is a constant called the fine structure constant, which describes the strength of electromagnetic interactions. The speed of light, c, is part of the denominator of the fine structure constant, and if light speed increases, the fine structure constant would decrease, causing electromagnetic forces to weaken. As we all know, everything, including the human body, is held together by atomic chemical bonds, and these bonds are a form of electromagnetic force. So, if the speed of light were increased, all structures in the universe would fall apart because of the weakened electromagnetic force. Our bodies would turn into dust and cease to exist. Even Thanos would call it impressive. Our bones would become brittle and our skin would fall off. Now, let's go back to the speed of light. Whether it increases or decreases, the entire universe would not be the same. Humans wouldn't exist. The perfect speed of light results in the perfect fine structure constant, which determines the perfect electromagnetic force, and this is what allows us to exist as we are. So, when we sum it all up, the universe can be described with 4 words. Just right. It's like a running computer program, and the physical laws are the underlying code. Anyone who has worked as a programmer knows that the underlying code should not be altered. If you change it, things will not be consistent. It could cause a system crash or even make the entire program collapse. In science fiction, one of the most well-known methods for changing the universe's underlying code is through the Bianxiang bow in the trilogy. It's not just about changing a few physical constants. It could directly cause 3-dimensional space to collapse into 2 dimensions, destroying the basic structure of the universe. However, in the novel, the Bianxiang bow is only the size of a credit card, glowing softly in white, looking very safe. This illustrates the principle that the more harmless something seems, the more dangerous it actually is. It's like a cute, sweet girl who looks harmless, but in the blink of an eye, she pulls out a huge weapon and beats you senseless. The point is, the speed of light and other fundamental physical constants are not to be tampered with. Even the smallest change to the basic physical foundations would lead to disaster. I once read a sci-fi novel called Heavy Soldiers. In it, a scientist from an alien planet developed a catalyst that could change the crystal structure of ice. We know that ice is normally less dense than water, but this catalyst made ice denser than water. Unfortunately, the scientist accidentally spilled some excess catalyst down the drain, which flowed into lakes, rivers, and seas, and after circulating, it contaminated all the water on the planet. In summer, everything seemed normal. People were even happy because ice would sink in drinks, preventing it from touching their lips. It seemed like a great physical invention. But by winter, the lakes had no ice. All the ice had settled at the bottom of the lakes and couldn't move. The next summer, only the surface of the ice melted, and the ice at the bottom of the lakes would never thaw. After 2.5 years, the water beneath the surface of the planet had turned to heavy ice, and there was almost no liquid water on the surface. The planet's temperature dropped, and it became unsuitable for life. You see, just by changing a seemingly insignificant parameter like the density of ice, an entire planet's ecosystem was destroyed, which shows how exquisitely the physical laws of the universe are set. These parameters are like values preset by a cosmic administrator. Therefore, it's understandable that many people think the universe could be a virtual game. Why is the macro world so rich and diverse, while the basic units that make it up are almost identical? Why is the speed limit the speed of light? Why is there a limit to a program's running speed? These questions have been asked for a long time. However, for me, if the universe really is virtual, I have just one request. I hope the person controlling my character can load some more money for me.